Belgium. Little towns and villages of great charm cling to the banks of the great river Meuse and the smaller rivers like the Lys. Chateaux or stately homes abound in this province. Some are crumbling monuments, but others have been lovingly restored, as the Belgians are very proud of their history. A great underground grotto offers a rare spectacle of silent lakes and mysterious stalagmites and stalactites, which reflect the passage of millions of years. And there's a safari park of 600 acres, which allows the tourist to observe the great variety of wild animals that abound in the great Ardennes forest. A fabulous tourist region, then, is Rochefort in the province of Namur. The town of Rochefort, then, is en fête, beflagged, beribboned, and it's going to stage what we hope will be a gleeful, cartoony international here tonight. And in the Jeep, we have Michel Lemaire on the right, Paul Herman on the left, and the two characters you all know in disguise. The theme is Tintín, is a comic character well known throughout Europe and just beginning to become known in the United Kingdom. And here come the teams, the Swiss of Yverdon, the Germans of Zorbenheim, the French in the green, beautiful lime green of La Rochelle, a beautiful seaside town in France. For Britain, we have Crewe and Nantwich, now one great borough, the Italians of Abano Terme. A very happy night this is going to be, by the way. The Yugoslavs, the second time to appear on the program of Novo Mesto, getting a great welcome. And lastly, an even bigger welcome, the town of Rochefort itself. And here come the contestants in the first game. They are little terriers, and they're all called Snowy. So we come down to game one. We have 6 Tintins there, marooned on kegs of dynamite, and they're all on a short fuse. They have to be rescued by their pals, who are 6 white dogs. Tintin's great pal in the comic strip is the white terrier Snowy. He's the French joker of La Rochelle coming in. You will see the game unfold before your very eyes. Many an obstacle the Snowies have to endure. First of all, they have to chop their ways out of their kennels. They've got to punch their way through. We're through. The Yugoslavs are through. You can see through polystyrene. That is our British John coming out. They have to run forward through the cowboys. Over a little hurdle. No, under the hurdle. It's a little guillotine. Then they have to cross a minefield on stilts. At the moment, it's the French and the British. The French on their joker game, furthest from the camera. This is quite something. Oh yes, who is the French girl? It's Martine Lavergne. But we're doing quite well. Our Snow is all right. Then they have to jump on the seesaw, catch the ball. You're watching one or two people trying to get out of their kennels. They have to throw the ball in. We've got it in. We're in the lead. This is Betty, our Snowy. Then they get on skis. Then they go through the mountain. Not up and over it, but through it. They don the skis. They come through. We might as well follow the leaders because that's Great Britain. This is good news. It's like last week when Bath won the opening game. It's great excitement here. Then they bark and they shout, put a light on. They put a light on. Then they go over over this particular hurdle. They come to the end, and they save Tintin. There's the fuse. Can you see it? They have some foam in a canister. They untie him. He picks up Snowy, and Britain won. We won the first game. Well, it was tortuous, but we won it. 6 points for Great Britain. At an incredible time, and the French on their joker. Well done, Betty Leonard. Well, what a start for Crewe and Nantwich. You can sit back now and enjoy the game. But we finished. We can rest happy. They extinguished the fuse with a canister of foam, and that then means they can untie Tintín, stand there. Belgium have finished. The big noses. And who's this? Still in the snow. That's a Yugoslav, and she can't reach, that poor girl in there, can't reach that little toggle that opens her trap door. Well, that's hard luck for Yugoslavia of Novo Mesto. But here comes the German girl, little Fräulein, called Manuela. Oh, I do feel sorry for that Yugoslav girl. But that's the end of the game. You see, they extinguished the fuse, a short fuse, because if they don't kill that little fire, then the keg of dynamite explodes. With 10 seconds to go on, the game was still waiting for this poor lad. But whatever happens, Crewe and Nantwich have got, I think, 6 points, unless something dramatic has happened.
Les positions, Grande-Bretagne, première place.
Crewe, Nantwich, première place.
La France, deuxième place.
La Rochelle, deuxième.
La Belgique, troisième place.
Rochefort, troisième.
L'Italie, quatrième.
Abano Terme, quatrième.
L'Allemagne, cinquième.
L'Allemagne, Sobenheim, cinquième.
Et la Yougoslavie, sixième.
Et Novo Mesto, sixième. Les points maintenant.
Alors, les points pour la Grande-Bretagne, 6 points.
Crewe, Nantwich,
And the
6
points.
points.
That's lovely. In French, 6 points. In English, 6 points. It's music. So Rochefort pick up 4. La Rochelle in the jockey game 10. Abano 3. Zobenheim 2. And last were the Yugoslavs. And now for a very musical Rouge. Let's go to Eddie.
Well, that is Paula Harriman, who I'm sure many of you have seen on television before. She is the Belgian commentator for the Fil Rouge. And the Fil Rouge is the rescue of Madame Castafiore. All very dramatic. Calculus and Captain Haddock are going to be on a raft. But the girl singer, you'll hear her, Madame Castafiore, is going to be in trouble. But on the ropes come Thompson and Thompson. But in the corner, there are 2 crocodiles, one right in front of you, and they are going to be the adversaries, and they're going to try to top the Swiss team, going for the first Fil Rouge, and the hook at the top there is to try to hook the crocodile and prevent it knocking the Swiss team off the raft. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and Castafiore, she's held a prisoner. And when there she's singing, there she's belting it out, and off they go with the crocodile in full pursuit. But Tintin's friends, Calculus and Haddock on the raft, Thompson and Thompson on the ropes, they're going to try to rescue her. The 2 crocodiles trying to cause mischief, and there she's sinking into the crypt, and so the crocodile's trying to get, she's in. She's safe for the moment, but of course she's still got to come across. The scoring is just a little tricky. The first is taken when the rescuers touch a switch and bring on a lamp after the first crossing, and the second time is when the girl stands on the bank on both feet. So off they go. Switzerland with the first of the Fil Rouge. We shall go. Great Britain will go the 4th, Crewe and Nantwich. And got off to a tremendous start with that first win. Very confident lot. About 40 fans come across to see them and can cling on to the rope. But the crocodile's got to be held. And they're holding the crocodile back, and they're going well with the Swiss. Yverdon, mainly known for manufacturing typewriters, if you're interested, and they've reached the shore safely, and the very brave Madame Castafiore. Now comes, as always, the time, and here it comes with Guido Pancaldi from Ascona, Switzerland.
1 minute 29 secondes.
1 minute 29 seconds. So as we've said before, we'll say it again, that's part of the course as far as the marathon is concerned. Do it.
Now the second game, Tintín the hero, imprisoned by the Incas, has to escape from a giant anaconda that will snake down the branches of that enormous tree. Yugoslavia and Belgium play. Out from the forest come the adversaries with a blowpipe. You see the anaconda snaking down. On the right of the picture and the left of the picture, the Yugoslav anaconda has to go in that little basket there, and that will be the end of the game. Two balloons symbolize the head of the anaconda. When the two balloons are safely in the basket, the Yugoslavs have done it, but let's have a look at on the Belgian side now. Because the Italians, those two girls, one girl has a blowpipe with a poison dart, and she is figuratively trying to kill the anaconda. Actually, she is trying to burst two balloons. Because when two balloons are out, she's burst the second balloon as well. 19, that's 19 seconds.
Alors Rochefort,
42, 42. Watch the anacondas unfurl from the top of the branches. The Italian coming down slowly, the Swiss coming down fast. You see at the bottom of the picture, in the middle, the girls working the anaconda. They jump up and down to release the anaconda, to let it come down. The gentleman at the top of the tree who is guiding it into the basket. The Swiss appear to have got it in very, very quickly indeed. But there the girls were. No, the Swiss haven't got it in the basket. The Italians have lost one of their balloons, the head of the anaconda. And we are blowing. There's one British girl there. Beverly Platt is blowing through the blowpipe, the poisonous darts, and she's burst both balloons, I think. Yes, she has. Our darts blowing was excellent. On the right, the Italian. Opposing the Italian, the Belgian girl. A man at the top of the tree is moving the snake about, trying to prevent that balloon from being burst. And he's got it in. That's the end of the game. We take the time then for one balloon, the time for two balloons, or the longest time you can keep your balloons intact. 3 elements of scoring, but do not worry about it because Great Britain are going in the last heat. And we're second on the scoreboard. Won the first game.
Alors pour l'Italie, 64 secondes et un ballon.
64 seconds. The Italians resisted before they finally had their balloons burst.
39 secondes et 0 ballon.
39 is 39.
39 secondes et 0 ballon. Voilà le
For
deuxième
no balloons. What now can Great Britain do? On the right, that's it coming down. Out come the adversaries. A little Swiss girl is going to blow darts at it. Watch the British anaconda. Can we preserve our two balloons and pop them in the basket? Oh no, we've lost one. It's going to be the time now for one balloon. It's got to be guided in that basket. It's got to go in, and it's guided from the top. We've got to resist. We've got to resist as long as possible. Or get that in. Now, it needs to go in. Oh, it's frustrating, this. Nobody's got two balloons in. Wave it about as long as... Oh, we've lost it. We've lost it. The time is taken. Time's taken. It was about 35 seconds.
La France, 38 secondes, 0 ballon. La Rochelle,
The French, 38 seconds.
Et la Grande-Bretagne aussi, 38 secondes et 0 ballon. Alors,
Oh,
38 secondes
we were very
et
unlucky
également
there.
0 ballon.
If only we resisted for 2 seconds more, preserve those, we resisted for 40 seconds and come further up the list. But never mind, do not worry.
Novo Mesto, 6 points. 7 points. Abano Terme, 5 points. En deuxième position avec 0 ballon, on prend le temps le plus long comme meilleur, ça veut dire la Belgique, 4 points. Rochefort, 4 points. C'est pas mal quand même. 2 points au lieu de 3. Voilà pour La Rochelle, 2 points. Avec la Grande-Bretagne, aussi 2 points.
It's 2 points for us, obviously. And it should register 8. Our total is 8. There's the readout, the printout on the computer. La Rochelle, 12. Rochefort, 8. Crew and Nantwich, 8. Abano Terme, 8. Novo Mesto, 7. Yverdon, 3, and Eddie with you.
Well, there's a crocodile intent on doing distraction for the rescue by Haddocken Calculus on Madame Castafiore. And there's the boat in which the Thompson firm chases to try to get this girl slowly sinking into the pool. But the Thompsons can only stop the crocodile by hooking walking sticks. They have these walking sticks all the time. Wherever they go, they always have a walking stick. And one of the crocodiles is Brian Rees from Crewe and Nantwich. He's a wood machinist, and he likes martial arts. And up they go across onto the... They can only use their hands on this. They mustn't hang on with the walking sticks. The time is 1:29 for the first one. This is the German team, Zobenheim, going. And you'll get, I'm sure, used to the idea of it. And the British team, which is Crewe and Nantwich, they are chasing Bath, who last week got third place with 37 points. And the crocodiles start to come up. Zobenheim, a little village in the forest and winemaking area of Germany. And you see how they're hooking on. There underneath is Jacques Seabold and Brian Rees. So far, the ball managed to get in his stump, and the ball gets full speed on dry land. And she does. Here it comes. Gennaro, 1 minute, 18 seconds. So a lead for Germany after the second of the Phil Root and to Stewart.
A giant machine, that is, from the cartoon strip of Tintin. And this is the machine that turns human beings into sausage meat, if you're not careful. Another joker coming in of Yugoslavia. There's the Italian one of Abano Terme, Novo Mesto of Yugoslavia, Abano Terme of Italia. And to the game. An Italian and a German. Tintin get on the traveling band. And in the night sky, suspended, you will see 12 photographs of the Capone mob. Our hero has to gather those 12 pictures of the Capone mob. That's Tintin, as you see, with a little nose and the small tuft of hair. Very famous character. In the next 12 months or so, Tintin will become just as famous in England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales as he is on the continent. But the Italians have got all their photographs of the Capone mob to identify the criminals and solve the case. Tintin has to have this evidence. This is admissible evidence. 12 photographs. Second heat, and our Tintin in the British gear is Robert Mansfield. A very fast time by the Italian. They take a lot of beating. You need to be very tall. It's 2.5 meters from that tapis roulant, or the travelling band, up to the rank on which the photographs are placed. But we're not doing too badly. That Yugoslav is, he must be at least 6'3", so it's nothing for him. We're having to jump. We're having to jump because Bob Mansfield is about 5'10". The Yugoslav in opposition is at least 6'3". They're an enormous team, this Yugoslav team tonight from Novo Mesto. He's gone. The Yugoslav's gone. We're still at it. 45 seconds. We need another photograph. We're a bit small for this game. We have to jump, but at least we will not fail and go through and be turned into sausage meat. He's got it. 28 seconds for the Yugoslav, which is very fast. Sankoza is not bad.
Voilà, et
Not bad, it could be
maintenant,
worse. We could be turned into sausage meat because if you don't collect the photographs, you go through into the machine and you're chopped up. We're on the ball. The Belgians and the Swiss. The Belgian looks a bit small for the game. He is small for the game. So is the Swiss. One for the Belgians, one for the Swiss. They're both tiny fellows. And you know, in internationals, throughout the year, you cannot choose which competitor you want to play. There is a draw which takes place on the morning of the games, and it's really unfortunate. If you have a small guy and he's drawn to do the game, as these two fellas are, then they have to play the game. If you're like the Yugoslavs, you have a lucky draw, 6'3" guy plays the game, where you need a tall man. But the Belgians doing well. Not so bad at the moment. He's off the travelling band. Coming up to 50 seconds. We can't resist. No, the Swiss has gone. The little Belgian is going to give you some fun. We will not finish last here. This Belgian is called Claude Soulier. He's a postman. Poor old chap. He's used to thrusting letters through post boxes, not grabbing photographs in the sky. And he's small, the poor guy. Oh. You see what he has to do? Up he goes. He's off again, a groan of misery arising from the audience. About 7,000 people in the middle of Rochefort. And he's gone, he's finished, and he goes and he emerges as sausage meat. There should be an element of the game where he comes at the back of the game. That machine turns him into a sausage. Here he comes. Can you see him at the back? Just over Gennaro's right shoulder. He's coming out of a can. He's turned into a sausage. So he finishes last. Unfortunately for us,
Yverdon, 46 secondes. Alors maintenant les points.
the Swiss of Yverdon just licked us into next to last place. So once again,
2 x 6, 12. C'est un beau résultat.
Pour la Yougoslavie, également avec un joker, 10 points.
Novo Mesto, 2 x 5, 10.
Pour l'Allemagne, 4 points.
Hoffenheim, 4.
La Suisse, 3 points.
La Suisse, Yverdon, 3 points.
Grande-Bretagne, 2 points.
we pick up 2 points. Again, well,
Pour la Belgique,
a racing start, 2 bad results, but we still are joking to play later in the international. In the meantime, the renuts. The Italians in the lead, the Yugoslavs are second, the French, then the British, then the Belgians, then the Swiss, and then Zobenheim at the bottom. And Eddie with you.
Well, it's quite a balmy night here in Rochefort tonight, Belgium, and it's La Rochelle. So France to go, fishing port, well known for a place called Towers of St. Nicholas. And it's La Rochelle. Can France do what every other team has done so far, manage to elude the Crocs? The Crocs are not fighting hard tonight. They don't seem to be getting anything, probably not hungry on this palmy night. Trying to rescue the girl. Calculus and Haddock on the raft, and on the ropes, the Thompsons. Out she comes, and so far it's not been any extraordinary time. But the crocodiles have certainly been mastered by the Thompsons. But there's still a way to go, of course. The maximum is 2 minutes, 30 seconds, but we've got nothing like that at all so far. And they're trying to hook. That's the only way. Incidentally, that is Philip Edwards. Little you can see of him under the water. He played badminton. At the moment he's swimming. And the crocodile is still clear, trying to get in. Is he going to stop them? That's important. If he can, it'll be a bit useful. And that was very good. Now they're getting to know this game. They're showing the teeth. They're after them. That's the way. The Thompson lads are in a bit of trouble. Can't hook them in. So that's rather interesting. It's opened up. They're coming in backwards way now. Here it comes. It's open. And of course you've stopped singing by now. Well, it's a good concerted effort by an Italian and a British lad. So they've not hooked them out, so they're going to make a lot of trouble, and it's rather a different change in attitude now. There's only 30 seconds, and now they're going to make a rush for it. The two Crocs, they're waiting for them coming up on the seaside. Here they come. And he got one. He got only one Croc. So he's there, the Croc. He's seen that's Thompson with a P. The other Thompson is in, and he's shoving them back. They probably won't do it. It's only second. And what a good job Philip Edwards has done. The crocodile for the first time in his career, I bet. Very good. And the crowd rightly give them. And there he is. There's Philip Edwards, smiling and having done a very good job. So, of course, now comes the 33 seconds. Well, of course, that's relegated into the lower half of the league. And the next one will be Great Britain facing the Crocs. And taking on the Crocs, do it.
Game number 4 then, on the giant mushroom, the Black Widow Spider, represented by a balloon. A game this for Captain Haddock. You've seen him in Eddie's Fil Rouge. A rum-swilling, hard-cursing son of the sea, given to sayings like thundering typhoons, avast ye seas come, belay you sea dogs, man the poop, stand by to haul the wind. And that's only in the middle of Piccadilly. So Captain Haddocks, the two of them there, with the beards and the caps, make themselves a pole from 4 elements. And a teammate is propelling the Black Widow Spider down that ramp full of treacle so that he can hurtle up it and break its head. The Black Widow Spider on top of the giant mushroom has to be burst. He is a threat to society and to the health of Tintín, our hero tonight. There it is. You can see it. He has to give it an almighty whack. Can he do it? A Yugoslav on the right. A big fellow. And on the left, not quite so big, an Italian, Urbano Terme. They have You've seen a variation of this game played in the United Kingdom. Neither the Yugoslav, who is called Mejan, or Paolo the Italian, can burst the head of the Black Widow Spider. Man the poop, Edward. Stand by to haul the wind. You old son of the sea. Good comic strip stuff. In the meanwhile, back in the game. The Black Widow still survives. The wield of the big stick. 10 seconds to go. The girl there, you see, in the southwestern, is helping the captain. But all to no avail. The Yugoslav throws down his stick in disgust. Guido, meanwhile, will adjudicate. We know the phrase zero.
Pour la Yougoslavie aussi la même chose, un zéro. Et nouveau mesto un autre zéro. Attention, attention, 3, 2.
The Captain Haddocks of Germany and Switzerland essay the tortuous way up the sea, or riverbed, or whatever it is. To us, it's a ramp full of treacle, assembling their sticks from 4 elements as they go. And you see there on the right, that little German Fräulein is making the spider go forward down the course, obviously to make it easier for her colleague to come up the course and burst the balloon. Captain Haddock, quite a character, and a friend of Tintín. But he's not all that clever, Captain Haddock. He does everything wrong. And he drinks a lot of rum, as I told you. Thundering typhoons, Sir Percy. burst the spiders and ho ho. Eddie loves this game, by the way. He's curled up, laughing away in the commentary box here, but hoping against hope. Ah! The balloon is burst. The Germans burst the balloon and could come into 6 points of Zobenheim. This is Yverdon. Ah, he's done it! Coming in 1:19 we make it.
On a pour la Suisse 1 minute et 19 secondes.
Yverdon, 1 minute et 19 secondes.
L'Allemagne 1:06.
Zobenheim, 1 minute 0.
Oh, a good time for Zobenheim. Third heat then for Captain Haddock. The Frenchman and the Belgian. And both of them quite small. If you'll notice in the last heat that both the Swiss and the Germans were fairly large boys. It's a game of some strength. As you see, they assemble their stick from 4 elements. Put it all together, then go up the course. The Belgians halfway up, slides back. The Frenchman's not even at first base. The Captain Haddock's thundering typhoons. Can he do it? He's halfway there. The Belgian has not yet assembled his stick. Wheeled a big stick, burst ahead of the Black Widow, dreaded poisonous spider. My goodness, here he comes. That is the Frenchman from La Rochelle, a beautiful little seaside resort. He's coming up, the Frenchman. He raised his hands to give it an almighty whack and failed. The Belgians, no. Well, the Frenchman got there, and he gave the mushroom a whack. Didn't quite. The Belgian's up, and he's... Oh! What has he done? He's dislodged the ballon. The Belgians managed to dislodge the ballon. He hasn't burst it. Somebody will have to put it back on. The crowd don't like it. The crowd are whistling and booing, as continental crowds do when they don't like something. The Belgians knocked over his balloon. Somebody should replace it. They can't say it's burst, because it hasn't. The Belgians getting very excited. They can't count it as burst because, can they? Well, the Belgian crowd seem to think so. They're going wild now. They're rejoicing. The Belgians think it's burst. The Frenchman hasn't burst it. The poor old Frenchman counted out of time.
Alors, pour la Belgique, un temps de 1 minute 21 secondes.
1 minute 21 secondes pour Rochefort.
Pour la France, 0.
Et La Rochelle, 0 pour le capitaine de La Rochelle.
On a alors l'Allemagne avec 6 points.
Zobenheim, 6 points.
La Suisse, 5 points.
Yverdon, 5 points.
La Belgique, 4 points.
Rochefort, 4 points.
L'Italie, 1 point.
Abano-Terme, 1 point.
La Yougoslavie, 1 point.
Novo Mesto, 1 point.
Et la France, 1 point.
Et La Rochelle, 1 point. Ceci, bien sûr, va modifier le classement général qui a
The competition then is absolutely wide open. The Italians in the lead, then the Yugoslavs, then the Belgians, the French, Germans, the Swiss, and unfortunately for us at the moment, we haven't played our joker, Crew and Nambridge at the bottom. Eddie.
Well, they haven't played the joker, that's quite so, but they can't play it on this game because this is a marathon. There's Valerie Jones. I bet you didn't know she's a lovely singer. Do where she gets in tune. Howard Stokes and Keith Wilson, Grant Bainham, Peter Barn, and there they are. There's the girls singing, or somebody's singing anyway. Oh, and the crocodiles from Yugoslavia and Italy having arrived, both of the Great Britain lads, pedaling away to rescue Valerie Jones, 23, an ex-nanny, 400 metres, squash, tennis and what have you. She's rescued as she was slipping down. Come on, hurry up, get her out quickly. She's out. And now, Howard Stokes and Keith Wilson going to pedal like mad. And off they go. And Peter Bowen and Grant Bainham will try to keep those crocs at bay. And there's the underneath is the opposition, the adversaries. Here they come. Has it been hooked? No, certainly this one hasn't. But they're going between them. Oh, he's lost his oar. Oh, well, that's one part of the picture. There, he's going to chew him up. He can't do that. He did well there without his stick. Come on, let the girl get on quick. He's trying to force him off course. Get on and get... The girl's got to get on now. If she can get up... Oh, here, they've got a sandwich. They're in trouble. In deep trouble. Valerie's got to get on dry land. He's bending off the crocs. They're showing the teeth. They're giving him some stick. And the Thompson boys have lost the walking stick. Well. No time to lose your walking stick when you want to catch your crocodile. He's kind of... He didn't want to get in. He's after it. Stand up. Both feet have got to be on dry land. And there it is. So we'll just have to wait and see. That was a bit unfortunate, losing your crocodile stick. Great Britain. So they're in the Major League. And quite good, but out of a bad situation, but not bad at all. And Stewart.
The Belgian joker coming in, and the crowd quite naturally emoting because we're now on game 5. And this is a clever game. You'll enjoy it. In the background, we have 3 Aztecs. But they are only decor. They don't take much part in the game. We're following the theme through. Tintín up there. There is Tintín with the big conch. And his pal Zorino roll giant balls down those wires suspended above. There are Thompson and Thompson. You've seen plenty of them. There are the balls rolling down, thrown by Tintín and his pal Zorino. The wires are held taut. And then when you want to let the ball drop, you open the wires, and the 2 coppers, Thompson and Thompson, remember they are very, very dim, like Laurel and Hardy, comic cuts characters. They have to come up on the glue and catch the ball. And they have to keep trotting because if they stand still, they'd just stick like treacle to a blanket. The idea is you've got to collect those balls containing dangerous liquids. You see, they've got to keep on moving because the glue is very sticky. The balls go down. Let's follow it down. There you are. Those wires are held taut by a man, a contestant. And when he wants to let the ball go, he slackens the wires. See it? And that's another ball for the Germans. What's the score at the moment? It's the quickest time for 5 balls, and the Germans have done it. Quickest time for 5 balls. Germans have 5. The French have 3. The Swiss now have 3. Limit time is 2 minutes 30. The Germans have finished, they can relax. Thompson and Thompson, the 2 policemen in plain clothes. The French have done it. 1 more now for the Swiss. That's it, bingo, and they've got it, and the time is about 1 minute 40. We are going in the next heat. Quite frankly, we need a few points. But quick time's there, the best time for collecting 5 balls full of dangerous, highly toxic liquid. You see, he's talking about Dupont, is Michel Lénard. In the comic strip on the continent, they call the 2 policemen Dupont and Dupont. In Britain, we call them Thompson and Thompson. They never solve a case, and they're very, very dim.
C'est valable pour tout le monde, le parcours était correct. Everything was correct for everybody. Je vous donne les temps. Pour la France, 1 minute 23 secondes.
La Rochelle, 1 minute 23 secondes.
Pour la Suisse, 1 minute 42 secondes.
Yverdon, 1 minute 42 secondes.
Le meilleur temps pour l'Allemagne, 1 minute 09.
Sobenheim, 1 minute 09 secondes, c'est le meilleur. Les Viva de nos amis.
At the top, you see Beverly Platt for Britain and John Butler, and our Thompson and Thompson are Philip Edwards and Robert Mansfield. We're on our way. That is a British ball with the blue dots, and he's let it go. We've wasted one. He's got to hold those ropes tight. Can you see on the right-hand side, that's the British. With the red GB on, we have one. But we are not up with the clock, and we need the point. We have one for Britain, one for Yugoslavia, one for Belgium, two for Belgium, two for Yugoslavia, two now for Britain. Two for Britain, and the balls are rolling down. Down they come for Belgium. The Yugoslavs have dropped it. The Belgians have got three. Here comes a third one for Britain. They've got to catch it. Yes, they have. We're now up with the clock. We have 3 and 50. We could come into points. The Belgians are going to get the fourth one. The Yugoslavs have got their third. We're beating the Yugoslavs. We're behind the Belgians. We need this one. 4 for Britain. 4 for Britain now. And that's the British ball on its way down. The boys have got to come. They've got to hurry. They've got to hurry. It's on its way to catch this. We're all right, yes. Britain have done it in 5. Crew and Navs have done it in 5. And we have won that heat. Some beautiful rolling of the ball down there by, who was it? Yes, John Butler. They took a gamble and threw them down like lightning. We could have come into a very fast time. We could have come into something like 1 minute 15 seconds. We could have come second. I don't think we'll beat the German time of 1 minute 8 seconds. The Yugoslavs are still playing. There it is. Thompson, the two plainclothes policemen. Theirs is the red ball. And they've completed the game. The Belgians have finished. That's it.
La Grande-Bretagne a un temps de 1 minute 14.
1:14. 1 minute 14 secondes.
Pour la Yougoslavie, 1 minute 47 secondes.
Nouveau Mesto, 1 minute 47 secondes.
Et pour la Belgique, une petite seconde de trop, ça fait 1 minute 10 secondes.
1 minute 10 secondes pour Rochefort. C'est quand même un bon résultat.
Well, we were wrong. We were shaded out.
L'Allemagne...
Shaded out of a point.
Sobenheim, 6 points.
Pour la Belgique, avec le joker, 10 points.
Rochefort,
Well, that could be very important for the destination of the silver trophy tonight. I thought we picked up 5. We missed the Belgians. They just beat us by 4 seconds.
Pour la Suisse, 2 points.
But at least we're moving up the scoreboard. You'll see the printout shortly on the new computerized scoreboard.
Voilà qui va encore évidemment modifier sensiblement.
Rochefort, 23. Abano Terme, 21. Novo Mesto, good start for the Yugoslavs, capitalized on it, piling up the points. Could do something tonight. 19. Sobenheim, the Germans, also creeping up. In the list now with 18 points. La Rochelle from France with 16. Crew and Danwich showing, still to play their joker with 14. And at the bottom, again, still to play their joker. Remember what happened last week? The Swiss came from nowhere to win. The Swiss of Yverdon with 13. A lot to come, and another fil rouge with Edward.
And it's the 5th fil rouge, and it's Italy. And there go the 2 members of the Italian team already being attacked by the clock. And singing is a 19-year-old student. Well, of course, she's only pretending she's singing. You know, she isn't really. But the 2 Thompson boys, Petro and Viola, and the 2 lads. There's the croc. Those are the 2 peddlers, Massimo and Louis. And she's going to be well down if not careful. They're going to lose her. We haven't lost one so far tonight, but it's getting a little bit troublesome. Oh, he's in. He's lost him. What do I know, he says. That's going to be a very good question. Come on, she's in trouble. He's bashing away to release her, and in she comes. It's not an easy situation to be in. One lad off the ramp, and this puts it on the top team. And where's the croc? Where's the 2 crocs, in fact? Well, she's having to earn the money. She's doing very well. Here comes the croc, coming on from the right. There's the other one, coming in from the middle. Can they be kept at bay with the stick? They haven't hooked them yet. She's doing a good job as a girl. I told her she had to sing. But the croc, is he going to hook? He's got it. He hooked the... No, he hasn't. No, it's a bit tricky. You have time if you get going now. What's up to the... Oh, it's there. He can't tackle the croc on his own. He can't go... Yes, done very well as the girl. Aye, the crocodile is now getting up, being held. They're both being held. So they can break loose if they're not careful. Well, she's done a very good job as this 19-year-old Italian student. She seems to be a little fatigue on it. Italy. And it was certainly a brave effort. She did a lot of work. She wasn't supposed to be doing it all. Guido Pacaldi from Ascona. What is the 2 minutes? Well, just in time. It's allowed 2:30, but as far as we're concerned, it's helpful to Great Britain.
And for the first time in an international series, we have the current craze of skateboarding. The skateboard down, there is the Captain Haddock Joker of Yverdon. Well, Yverdon is a lovely little town at the very south of Lake Neuchâtel, where they water ski and they snow ski and they enjoy life and they sing. I didn't know the skateboarders, but we'll see how good they are. But first, the two Italian girls skateboard down. Well, one Italian girl comes and falls on her knees. The Belgian girl comes down. She puts in the rod into the atomic reactor, and when all 5 rods are in place, that light on top of the mechanism lights up. They have to thread the rods through. 2 girls, that's the second Belgian girl going down. Skateboarding down. Couple of students, that is Nicole. She threads in, that's it, the plutonium rod. The costume is the costume, by the way, of Calculus, another character in the strip cartoon or the book. The mad inventor, the friend of Tintín. If you fall off the skateboard, you must go back to the start. The Italian's not very good at skateboarding. Here comes the other one. That is Lorenza, 17-year-old student from Albano Terme, an ancient spa town, going back, like most Italian towns do, to the time of the Romans. 7 rods must be in place, 2 already there, 5 to be placed by the 2 girls. And the Belgians doing quite well. What is happening? 15 seconds to go before the end of the game. Limit time is 2 minutes. And we are going in the 3rd heat. And we need the points. And we're going to play our joker on the next game, game number 7. But this is game number 6. Belgians are finished. There it is. When the last rod of plutonium goes home, on goes the light, fini of the game. And we make it just about limit time.
On était à la dernière seconde, car la Belgique a 1 minute et 59 secondes.
Just on limit time, 1:59.
Pour l'Italie, 4 barres.
Et 4 barres seulement, 4 barres seulement.
4 bars for the Italians. As I say, you have 5 to put in place. The Italians got 4.
Attention, attention, 3, 2, 1.
The Germans on the left of Zobenheim against the Swiss of Yverdon. Zobenheim coming up fast on the master scoreboard. had an appalling start, did nothing at all for the first two games, and suddenly they appeared. Let's hope that Crewe and Nantwich can do something tonight when they play their joker on the next game. They need desperately the points. They play in the third heat here. A couple of girls, Betty and Fiona, will come. If you come off the skateboard, as you saw there, Jonara will send you back to the start. You are not allowed to load your plutonium bar if you fall off the skateboard, as she has. If you don't have the impetus, to come down, if you're not valiant about it, the Germans have failed twice. They could just about do it again. Well, Crewe and Nantwich should be good at skateboarding. I remember them playing at Chester in a skateboard game and winning. So, the luck of the draw may have thrown up a good skateboarder, or it may not. Remember, you cannot nominate the person who plays in this particular game. Everything is on the draw on the morning of the games. Now, has that Swiss girl got enough impetus to get through? Has she enough to get through? Yes, she has, but the time is slow. Coming up for 1 minute 30, as I say, a 2-minute game. And difficult to thread your plutonium bar through. We are trying to see how many bars we have. I think it's one more to go for the Swiss and one more to go for the Germans. And coming up to limit time, 5 seconds only. Can they do it? Can they? It's like the perils of Pauline, the perils of Tintín. Time is full, but only 4 bars. We could come in now. Only the Belgians, as you see, have got a time for all 5 bars. What can we do?
Tout de suite, puisque je vois que les candidats sont en place. Guido.
Attention, 3, 2, 1.
The British versus the French. Oh, we need more pace than this. Oh, come on, Betty Leonard and Fiona Chambers. The French have 1 bar. We haven't enough speed on. We failed again. We must go faster than this. We must go faster than this. We're behind the clock. And we need the points. We haven't... we still haven't enough pace. We still haven't enough pace on it. Here, we're in for 1. We must be in for 1 now. It goes in. The calculus of Great Britain. 2 bars, you see, and the holes for the rest of them. 5 bars. And we've 2 minutes, and we need to make 1 every run now. Every run's got to be a winner. Well, where are we? Where are the British girls? We should be coming down. We need 6 points, at least. We must go. Come on. Faster, because I'll tell you the time. We've only 2 bars. And we're coming up to 1:20. Well, we'll not do it. We're not going to do it, I'm afraid. Everyone has got to be a winner now. Let's just keep an eye on the British. This has got to, no! At the last moment, she put her foot down. This is like trials riding. When you put a foot down, it counts against you. I remember the greatest trials rider of all, Sammy Miller. He could do this game on his motorcycle, standing on his head. Magic on a motorbike, but with no motorcycles tonight, only skateboards. We've only 5 seconds to go. We're not even going to get... This bar has got to count. We've got 3 seconds to put it in. And there's the whistle. Oh! I am afraid we have not done well. The French have got 4 bars in. We've only 3, and... I'm afraid we didn't do too well on that game. We finished bottom.
Oui, La Rochelle 3 bars, et la Grande-Bretagne aussi 3 bars. Et aussi pour la Grande-Bretagne, Crewe and Nantwich 3 bars. Alors maintenant, le classement. Alors, pour la Belgique, 6 points. 6 points pour Rochefort. Pour la Suisse, avec les jokers, 6 points. Yverdon, 6 points, 2 fois 5. L'Italie et le Déco aussi 5 points. À Terme,
5 points.
L'Allemagne ex aequo 5 points.
Sobernheim, 5 points.
La France 2 points.
La Rochelle, 2 points.
Et la Grande-Bretagne ex aequo 2 points.
And we come in for 2 points on a game that I thought personally we could win. Now the printouts. The Belgians of Rochefort, 29. The Italians of Baloterbi, 26. The Swiss of Yverdon, 23. The Germans of Sobernheim, 23. The Yugoslavs of Novo Mesto, 19. The French of La Rochelle, 18. And last, Crew Nantwich with 16 and Eddie.
Gennaro is taking a bit of guidance when he had the motor horn going, so it's Yugoslav to go, and you can, I'm sure by now you know what it's all about, that the crocodiles are chasing Calculus and Captain Haddock, and there are Thompson and Thompson, and there is the Belgium boy, Joel Leroy, who is going to provide the crocodile obstruction once they've got this young lady, 17-year-old student, on to the boat. Down she comes. Steady, hold on. Off they go. They're getting steam up. They happen to go a long way. But the crocodile will be waiting. Are they doing tactics? They can only hook with the end of the stick. They can't do it with anything else. So on they come. Oh, there it is. I thought we'd lost the crocodile. He's got one. Very good. The Swiss boy. And that could be very useful to the Yugoslav team of line 5, Ruan Nantwich line 7. And that was very good. It's time up. So they dropped back in, but it wouldn't have meant anything. Very good. So it will be very interesting to see what they're going to give us for that at the time when Gennaro comes along.
1 minute et 25
Is it better than 1:25? Yes, it's better than Great Britain, with one still to go on the Fil Rouge. Meanwhile, the Germans lead in on the Fil Rouge, 1:18, and line 3rd in the overall position. And to describe the overall position, Stuart.
2 Snowies on the wingtips have to be rescued by 2 Tintins. And there, a joyous sight we hope for you is the British Joker and the German Joker, the last 2 coming in.
Première partie, 2 équipes à la fois. Il y a maintenant la Yougoslavie et l'Allemagne.
The game starts. The first heat with a Yugoslav boy and a German boy, and they have to paddle themselves by means of that rubber boat to the middle of the aircraft. They then cross over to the opposite wingtip from where they started, and they have to pick up the dog. Once they've picked up the dog, if they can, they come back to the... and the Yugoslavs already in the drink. The Germans done the game. The Germans finished it in a time of 21 seconds. Now that poor Yugoslav has got to get to the end of that wing. And he's off. He's got no chance at all of getting back off. He puts the Snowy, the dog, back on the wingtip. He has to come back to the middle of the cockpit, and the German will do everything in his power to make sure that that Yugoslav will not reach that dog. You can enjoy this game. It's a very, very funny game. The wingtip is greased, and that Yugoslav, Slavko Kovanacevic, is going to have the time of his life. He'll remember sliding about on a seaplane in Rochefort long after you and I have forgotten this program. He's away. Will he or won't he? Which way? He's got the dog. He's got to get back. Can he stay on that wing? Oh, no. He's got to get back to the cockpit. Oh, he's off. The crowd enjoying it. Once again, he puts the Snowy back on the wingtip. And then he goes back to the middle of the plane, where Baron von Richthofen, the bloody Red Baron, is doing his best to make sure that Junkers will never fly again. I think he's going to be counted out of time. He has. The German has won the game. And he's... Well, if we can beat that German time, we pick up 12 points. But that German joker looks very secure. I don't think anybody is going to beat the German time coming up now.
Sobenheim, 32 secondes avec son joker, je crois que c'est pas beaucoup.
Oh.
Et alors, pour la Yougoslavie, nous expliquons la règle. Nous prenons un premier temps intermédiaire qui donnera la suite du classement.
Oui.
C'est le temps auquel on ramasse, on réussit à prendre Milou au bout de l'aile. Alors, temps intermédiaire pour la Yougoslavie, 42 secondes.
Novo Mesto, 42 secondes, temps intermédiaire.
So, it took him, well, we have two elements here. The time taken to bring the Snowy back to the cockpit, or the time that you touch. But the Germans, a lightning time, 32 seconds. Away go the Italians and the Swiss. Obviously, the first man to get the Snowy back to the cockpit has the advantage over the other guy. Only one fellow's losing his britches. The Italian is there, and so is the Swiss. It's a race back to the middle. The Italian's coming in. He's got it. He's going to make life very grim now for that Swiss gentleman. No, they've both done it. He's in, and he's kicked the Italian in the teeth, but never mind. A friendly gesture. Kicked him on the nose. But they're all right. They both slap each other on the shoulder. And we give us the time, which is rather bad news for Britain.
D'abord, la Suisse a fait 42 secondes.
Il verra donc 42 secondes. Ah, petite rectification.
Ça reste 42 secondes pour la Suisse, ça c'est exact.
Donc il verra donc 42 secondes, c'est admis, c'est accepté.
L'Italie, 27 secondes, le meilleur.
À panneau fermé, 27 secondes.
Oh, an incredible time for the Italians of Urbano Terme, 27 seconds. So now we'll go on our joker game, and what can we do? New ropes being placed, as you see in the middle of the picture, new ropes for every contestant. So nobody can complain they had a wet rope to grip. The ropes are dry, the wings are wet, and they're greased. What can Brian Rees of Crewe and Nantwich do on our joker game? He has to beat an incredible time of 27 seconds set up by the Italian. Failing that, he then has to do it in less than 32. He's away, he's up, he's going to the other side. It's a race. A straight race. And they're repeating each other. That was a stupid thing to do. But never mind, we're away. The Frenchman is out last. Brian Rees is on his way. He's on his way, Brian Rees, I hope. Because if that Frenchman gets back in first, life is going to be very miserable for Brian Rees. It's touch and go. Who's in first? It could be us. And there's a race for it. And they're both in together. They get an equal time. But we're out of it.
En fait, c'est la France qui est arrivée première dans cette manche avec 41 secondes.
La Rochelle,
41
secondes.
And we'll get 42, I bet you. 42 is right. Oh, how unlucky can you be? Shoved down again. So the Italians pick up the 6 points. The Germans on the joker game, 10 points. Then unfortunately La Rochelle will come. They'll come with 4. Then us on our joker game, only 6 points from it. A very poor return for a joker. 3 points for the Swiss and the poor old Yugoslav. But at least they gave us a laugh. 1 point. Now the printout, and the Germans first with 33, the Italians 32, the Belgians 29, the Swiss 26, the French 22, the British also 22, and the poor Yugoslavs at the bottom in only their second time in Jeux sans frontières, only 20. Well, who's going to win? It's still wide open, and another fil rouge to come with Eddie.
And off they go. Rochefort and the adversaries from Switzerland and from Germany. So there's good reason why the Germans will want to do something to make the crocodiles be quite effective. And there's Haddock and Calculus. And the Thompson boys waiting. But out comes Muriel Martin, and she'll be the uncrowned queen, and no doubt, of Rochefort tonight if they can win this one. They lie in the third with 29 points, and the Germans have got 33. That's on the master scoreboard. The second a bit difficult to get on the course for home. And there's the top. And now waiting, line in wait, the green crocodiles. The Swiss boy and the German boy. And off on they come. The two crocodiles setting their target with them, and they're not being kept out at the moment. They're going to knock the Thompsons off if they're not careful, but they're cutting off their retreat to bait. Important one for Rochefort to win. Right third. Germans in the lead. And the Germans have best time so far on the two routes. 1:18. They're going to make it, I would think. But whether it will be fast enough, only the officials will decide. But they got in. We think it's something like 1:57, but certainly too much to impose the German time of 1:18, which you can see at the top. So Guido Pancaldi put in for the last time. The time for the two routes, 1:57. So we now come to the places which will be transferred to the master scoreboard.
Alors, on a en première place avec 1:18 l'Allemagne avec 7 points.
6 points for Germany. 7 points for Germany, rather, 33. 6 points, 20. 5 for Switzerland.
Rochefort, 4 points.
4 for Rochefort.
La Grande-Bretagne, 3 points. 3 points.
Well, Great Britain, 3 points. And 2 points for Italy. And 1 point for France, which is a bit of a battle at the top, I would think. 40, of course, for the Germans then, 34, 33, 31. But it's a commanding lead. And on the last game, let's do it.
The last game, and there is the dreaded Yeti, imprisoning some friends of Tintín called Chang. And there is the north face of the dreaded mountain, Titaconga. 7 boys in the background climb up the sheer face of that mountain using only an ice axe to chip a foothold, a toehold, a fingertip hold. They go up the mountain, chipping away at the ice as they go in their big boots and their packs on their back. Up they go. The Germans have to finish last and the Italians have to win it. If anybody's going to ship the Germans, it's certainly the Italians. If the Italians win it, they finish with 41. If the Germans come last, they still finish with 41. And it's a tough game. The Yugoslavs down at the bottom. In the meanwhile, up at the top, Britain are going to win it. Britain are going to win in trap 4. Up we've gone. We're up like greased lightning. We rescue our Chang. We come sliding down. We're going to win this last game. Well, it's too late to do anything about it, but we won the first game, and the last game we finished. The Belgians have finished. The Germans, where are the Germans? They're up there somewhere. They can afford to clown around because there's no doubt about it, they've won easily. They can take all night about it if they want. But what a lovely sight. Our Tintín, Howard Stokes, is up there like a flash, rescuing Valerie Jones, our Chang. The cartoon characters, there at the top of the picture, is a nasty Yeti who wants to eat the friends of Tintín, called Chang. They've been imprisoned. But the Germans are coming in, and incredibly, that's the Swiss struggling. That's the Yugoslav. There's the Swiss. You would think on a mountaineering game, the Swiss would be absolutely par excellence. But they're not. There are three teams struggling. The French, the Yugoslav, and the Swiss. They've got to chip their way up the mountain, and at the top, their friends. Young females called Chang. Well, I never thought I'd see a Swiss struggling on a mountain anywhere. This is second nature to them to go scaling mountains. He's made it. But the poor Yugoslav from Novo Mesto, a big fellow, not used to climbing. Down come the Swiss. They'll embrace at the bottom and the game's over. But the French, La Rochelle, down he comes again. There'll be 4 minutes of the game. Well, there you are. He's swing. That's the ice pick. He's chipping away. And of course, it's not ice, as you've realized by now. It's polystyrene. The big boot. And if you're not well balanced and very heavy, wearing all that clobber, then you ain't got a fat chance of winning the game. But coming down, the French team. They're finishing. The Yugoslav on his way again. Well, he couldn't do the aeroplane game. He can't do this, but he's coming out. But a lot of fun, and in the foreground, you see the British couple who won the game and gave respectability to Crew and Nantwich.
Crew, Nantwich, première place.
Belgique, deuxième place.
Rochefort, deuxième.
Italie, troisième place.
Abano-Terme, troisième.
Allemagne, quatrième place.
Sobenheim, quatrième.
La Suisse, cinquième place.
La Suisse, Yverdon, cinquième.
La France, sixième place.
La Rochelle, sixième.
Et la Yougoslavie, septième place.
Et Novo Mesto, septième. Les points. Les points, Yougoslavie, 1 point. 1 point pour Novo Mesto.
La France, 2 points.
La Rochelle, 2 points.
La Suisse, 3 points.
Yverdon, 3 points.
L'Allemagne, 4 points.
Sobenheim, 4 points.
L'Italie, 5 points.
Abano-Terme, 5 points.
La Belgique, 6 points.
Rochefort, 6 points.
And this is lovely. The cheer goes up from the British populace here. 7 points to Crew and that. Now the Prince out. And a handsome win for Sobenheim with 44 points. Second with the Belgians with 39. Equal second to Abano-Terme from Italy. They blew the last game. They blew their joker. They could have come but didn't. Fourth, the Swiss of Yverdon with 34. Fifth were Crew and Nantwich with 32, winning the last game and winning the first. Sixth were the Yugoslavs with 27 points. And last, La Rochelle, the French with 25. Well, Eddie, a comment on the night?
Well, the most interesting, but the situation is as it was last week. Bath with equal third and 37 points lead the table as far as we're concerned. And next week, we hope you'll join us when we go to Germany to Grumit with London Delhi of Northern Ireland playing there. Hope you've enjoyed it. From me, good night.
There's the silver trophy going to the Germans of Sobenheim. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you next week. Till then, goodbye from Rochefort.